me tell you a story. This is a story about love, time, and loss. The title is Five Visits, and the setting right now is the nightclub. The room was dark now. It was a former factory, a rather small factory, so it wasn't an excessively large venue. It held approximately 100 patrons. It had been lit with people looking anxiously toward the stage for her to emerge. The lights were lowered and she came out. There was a flutist, a drummer, a keyboardist, and her backup singer already on the stage. She wore a sheer red dress with flowers covering the top and bottom, leaving the midriff area sheer. She wore her hair natural and twists with small gold ornaments added. He wondered how she always seemed to carry herself as both sensitive and tough. She didn't seem physically tough. He determined it wasn't so much that she seemed tough or strong. A better word he considered would be brave. She always seemed to mingle delicacy with bravery. He remembered she had always seemed like someone who was going into battle scared and yet determined. She couldn't see the audience. She made it a point not to. It was frightening enough to stand in front of people, strangers and non-strangers, and submit herself to scrutiny, but to do it while having to actually see them was more than she cared to experience. The lights on her were bright, but the lights on the audience were very, very dim. She could not make out who was in the audience. She did not see him standing in the back. Her voice was soft and required a large amount of amplification even for a smaller venue. She was a high, breathy soprano, and you could detect an accent, but it was difficult to turn that accent. Hi everyone, how y'all doing tonight? Thank y'all for coming. Here's my band. Look at these handsome, good-looking brothers, and my sister over here. She bowed to them, and they stood bowed back to her and sat back down. She turned back to the audience. Let's start off with something close to my heart. She looked at the band and shouted, "Let's wake 'em up." The band played, and she clapped her hands and danced during the introduction. He thought that she was classically sexy, like a Mary Wilson or a Sade, or a bit bohemian like a toned-down Erykah Badu. Her voice reminded him of Diana Ross or Janet Jackson or maybe even Rihanna with another unexplained accent.
That for you I yearn. Miles apart, yet your presence resides. The stars and the moon, they act as my guides. Keep the fire burning, let passion adjourn. It's only right that for you I yearn. Hold my heart, it beats your name. Forever loyal through sun or rain. In this dance where oceans turn, it's only right that for you I yearn. It's only right that for you I yearn. fight. Keep the fire burning, let passion adjourn. It's only right that for you I yearn. Hold my heart, it beats your name. Forever loyal through sun or rain. In this dance where oceans turn, it's only right that for you I yearn. They say tomorrow will do, but what about now? Why wait for the sun when the moon shows you how? Every moment's a dance, a chance we can't rewind. So why save the thrill when we've got today to find? Tomorrow will do, but tonight we ignite. Feel the rhythm take hold underneath the starlight. The beat of the drum, it's a calling divine. Live today, let the stars align. The breeze wraps around like a soft silk embrace, with the flute serenading. It's a warm, steady pace. Piano teases whispers in the cool evening air. Every note tells a story nothing else could compare. Tomorrow will do, but tonight we ignite. Feel the rhythm take hold underneath the starlight. The beat of the drum, it's a calling divine. Live today, let the stars align. The flute carried dreams you've kept stored away, while the keys pull you back to the warmth of today. Keep the night alive, let the vibe sweep you whole. Just lose yourself now in the groove of your soul. Tomorrow will do, but tonight we ignite. Feel the rhythm take hold underneath the starlight. The beat of the drum, it's a calling divine. Live today, let the stars align. Let the flute carry dreams you've kept stored away, while the keys pull you back to the warmth of today. Keep the night alive, let the vibe sweep you whole. Just lose yourself now in the groove of your soul. The skies are heavy, storms may brew. The road is tough, my strength feels through. But whispers in the night I hear, a voice so calm brings me near. The Savior said, endure my child, through every mile, through every trial. The dawn will rise, have courage sparks in words he says. No gold comes pure without the flame. Each test is part of life's fierce game. The Savior said, endure my child, through every mile, through every trial. The dawn will rise after the fight. Keep pushing on till you see the light. Even when my hands grow cold, even as my fears take hold, His voice it leads, His warmth surrounds. In every tear His love abounds. The Savior said, endure my child, through every mile, through every trial. The dawn will rise after the fight. Keep pushing on till you see the light. The Savior said, endure my child, through every mile, through every trial. The dawn will rise after the fight. Keep pushing on till you see the light. The skies are heavy, storms may brew. The road is tough, my strength feels through. But whispers in the night I hear, a voice so calm brings me near. The Savior said, endure my child, through every mile, through every trial. The dawn will rise after the fight. Keep pushing on till you see the light. I am Penelope weaving my fate. Threads of longing, it's never too late. Waiting for your return, tides steady churn. It's only right that for you I yearn. Hold my heart, it beats your name. Forever loyal.
The set was over. She exited the stage, and he again watched her, perhaps more intently than anyone else there, because to his mind she was something, something that he had not forgotten, but that he could not totally put into words. But she was something, she was someone that he had to, she was a puzzle that he had waited years to solve. First visit, conversation. I'm so glad you came to see me. I'm so thrilled, she said as she directed him to sit in the seat on the side of the small dressing table. The room was small, larger than the average small house bedroom, but still rather small. The color was a quiet beige. The windows framed a wintry day with wind singing and trees dancing. There was a picture of a child on her desk, a pretty brown-skinned girl with large eyes and thin braids. He wondered if it was a picture of her as a child. He pondered to himself that she had sung. He had known she could sing. He knew his attraction for her speaking voice. Her voice was soft and gentle, often somewhat whispery. He remembered that the first day they'd met, her voice was so soft that he had had to move very close to her just to hear her as she told him her name. So was her singing voice. During their relationship, she had never sang, but their relationship was brief and definitely not all-encompassing. To him she looked good still, even after time and separation. There were faint symptoms showing facially of a life lived, but the overall was still beauty, and her manner was still kind and apparently unaware of her attractive physicality. The large eyes, the full lips, and the caramel brown skin. She had a way of lowering her head and looking up at you. He thought to himself that she was looking up at him that way now. Well, how have you been? I just can't get over that you're here. I had such a crush on you so many years back, and here you are with me now. He looked at her somewhat annoyed that she was acting as though he hadn't known or considered. Or maybe that was how she had seen it, he pondered. He considered that she had always been hard to read. You were really great out there. I didn't know you could sing. I mean, sang, he said smilingly. She smiled. Sing, maybe, sang, no, but I just wanted to put what I have out there. Every so often you have to challenge your comfort zone, right? He nodded positively. Then there was an awkward silence. Well, what have you been up to? How's your wife? How's your family? Everyone's fine, he stated quietly. Again the silence, and yet neither wanted the encounter to end. She tried to look at him without being obvious. She still thought that he was sexiness personified. He was deliberately bald, not balding. He had a mild beard and mustache that was shaved to be mildly thicker than a 5 o'clock shadow. He was tall and neither thin nor thick. His skin was a light beige and his lips full and well shaped. She had hoped he would say that he was no longer married. She remembered the day she had found out he had married not long after they graduated, and his wife was expecting their first child. She remembered how she didn't want the person who informed her of this to see how she was affected, but it was as if the earth had suddenly collapsed under her feet. She had wanted to sit down, but she curbed her emotions and had said how wonderful that was for him. Again she covered how she felt with words. I'm so glad everyone is well. Did you keep up with any of our classmates? He didn't question how she knew that he had a family. He decided that wasn't important at the moment. This time he was curt when he answered the query. All of them, except for you. She thought about those years in school, that time in school, herself, isolation she had been trying to avoid. School had been relaxation for her, and he had been a frightening, sexy distraction. She wasn't sure how to respond. She should tell him about what happened, about her children and her ex and his excesses. She hadn't wanted the class, and especially him, to know what her life had been. Didn't want them to know that she had made mistakes and was unsure, so she had hid. I'm surprised you even remember me, she said. He was annoyed again. I've wondered where you have run to. He paused momentarily. What about your husband? Is your family in the audience? He meant the question to sting. His friends had theorized that she had led him on and then returned to her husband. He knew that wasn't exactly the truth, but still he wondered about her husband. What did he look like? What had made her commit to him? That was over years ago, she answered quickly, and then lowered her head. You probably don't remember, but you once told me that you don't do married women. I don't know why I always remembered you saying that, she mumbled. She remembered how she had thought, he won't let me go, so I am a married woman. She immediately lifted her head up and smiled again. But that was long ago. We're not together any longer. She decided to change the subject. So what did you think of my songs? He noted the conversation change, decided the smile she presented was fake. He felt that she was playing with them. I like your songs. You sing a lot about love and loss. He looked directly and unblinkingly at her. Were you singing about me? Were you singing about us? What we began but never finished? His words hit like an electric shock. Uh, I sing about life, life, just things that happen, just life, and sometimes that includes love and loss. She stuttered. Why did you leave me? He asked. Leave you? She thought. I was never with you. I wanted to be, but he interrupted her thought. I looked for you at graduation. I hoped you'd be there, but you weren't. You left no forwarding address. No one knew you but me. Why? Why did you leave? She stood up. She stammered. I don't know what you're talking about. I think maybe you should leave. Running again, he asked. Just tell the truth. She sat back down. There are things that are just hard to say. People will judge you, she mumbled. When? When did I ever judge you? I was there for you, he said. Whatever you needed, whatever you wanted, I was there for you, and you were always just out of reach. Why? Why? She hid her head in her hands. I didn't want you to know. Know what? How I was living. My life, what I came from, what I was going to. I didn't want you to know. I didn't want you to know. Your life was so smooth, so perfect. I didn't want you to know. He moved his chair and kneeled beside her. She turned her head and faced him. You knew how I felt about you. Everyone knew, but you kept pushing me away. What if I told you I always wanted you from the first? But what? He interrupted. What does it matter now? I feel like you, like what you told me. I don't do married men. So that's your excuse for the day, he said as he returned to his chair. It's not an excuse, she stated. I want to be honorable, she muttered. I want to do the right thing, just like you. He looked at her, and her words to him seemed almost insane. Who talks like this? What is this honor? Is your wife in the audience? She asked, almost as though in accusation. No, he answered quietly. She's afraid of ghosts. There was silence as she mentally sifted through his words. What ghost? What is he talking about? She thought. You never answered my question, he stated. What question? She asked. Are your songs about me? To her, the room had gone dark, and she had a feeling of being almost trapped. She wondered how could she tell him that from the first moment she had seen him, it was all about him, that she had not seriously wanted anyone since him. She liked his pushiness, his confidence, the way he would silently size up a situation before he spoke. How could she tell him that she was trying to protect everyone, including him? He watched her expectantly. It seemed like a long pause before she finally spoke. She lowered her head initially, then she raised it, met his eyes, and said in a quiet voice laced with resignation, only the love songs.
I saw you in the neon glow. Hearts were wild, but time so slow. You smiled like you already knew that I'd fall and not have a clue. Now I'm chasing memories, running blind, tracing echoes I can't rewind. Was it fate or just pretend?
This is Five Visits, Part 3. First Look, His. The professor explained, today we're going to review your assignment to provide a counseling session to one of your fellow students. Remember that this is mandatory for all of you. However, we appreciate those of you who volunteer and will throw out your lowest test score. So watch carefully because we're going to critique your skills later. He turned on the monitor and there she was on screen. He immediately thought she was beautiful. Her skin was the color of cinnamon. She had large, liquid-like eyes and lips that were full and well-shaped, and the way she spoke was magnetic. He wondered how someone who looked like her could have marital problems. The interviewer asked what was her major concern. He looked and he listened. I'm having some problems in my marriage. Well, actually, we're divorcing. Her voice was soft and measured. Her posture was relatively straight, and she seemed gentle and proud, not arrogant, but almost regal. He says I'm too quiet, and he gets mad at me if I even speak to another guy, and then he won't speak to me. The thing is, sometimes I'm really glad when he doesn't. The interviewer interrupted. Well, do you agree with that assessment? From that point on, she didn't mention her ex most, but spoke more about social anxiety and selective mutism. He thought that she would be easy to get to know. He wondered if he would ever see her in class or in the hallways or something. He wondered if she would reconcile with her husband. He felt strangely drawn to her. First look, his. The classroom was large, square, and bland. All the classrooms were similar. All were painted a mixture of beige and tan, and she liked it. Not being distracted by the room's details was a great advantage to her. The chairs were arranged facing away from the window toward the professor's desk. Otherwise, she knew she would stare out the window the way she had in high school geometry class. But today, she was tired and somewhat distracted. She had taken the children to school, going to work, picked the children up, going home, helping homework, cook dinner. Then she had come here to class. At lunch, she had read an article about the coming world war and the consequences of war. She had thought of the end of the world, and she reasoned, what was the point of education if the world was ending? She looked around the room. Most of the people there were talking amongst themselves. She immediately felt a twinge of envy and wondered why she wasn't talking to anyone. She had sat at the farthest from the door in the back row where she could see everyone. It was always important to her to sit where she could see everyone and to be very conscious of all possible exits. She heard a noise at the door. It sounded as if someone had dropped a heavy book. She jumped, as was her general reaction to unexpected noise, and looked toward the door. Whoa, who is that? Involuntarily, she said it out loud as though there was someone sitting with her. That was her first glance of him. Back to the dressing room setting. Did that answer your question? She asked. How does your knowing this change anything? This answer, that this question was in response to him asking if she had sang about him. He answered, I'm totally confused. You left me high and dry. Now, years later, you're saying it was because you love me. How is that love? Love is sticking around even when it hurts, even when you're afraid. It's also about protecting the ones you love, she said. You're not innocent. You threw me away like a crumpled sheet of paper. He ignored the paper reference and continued, well, how did you protect me by abandoning me? He stood and turned toward the door. How did I abandon you? I hardly knew you, she thought. But she said, why do you think everything is about you? Seeing that he was facing the door, she continued, well, is your wife calling you? She reasoned to herself that this was a weird, maybe even inappropriate conversation to be having with someone you hadn't spoken to in years. And yet, she thought, we're speaking to each other as though time hasn't passed. And she felt in some sense that they were still in that school hallway in an awkward embrace. He turned and looked at her momentarily. He then silently walked to the door, opened it, and walked out. She held her hands in her she held her head in her hands and cried, and then stopped herself. She went to her bathroom, showered, and went to sleep.
You were supposed to ride my wave high, catching stars in the velvet night sky. It was whispered in the looks you gave, but now I'm stranded on dreams I can't save. You were supposed to be with me. It was a deal that was implied, you see, even though words never anchor tight. By omissions, hand you straight up like high. We had a rhythm, a silent song. How did it turn to where it went so wrong? Unscripted, yet you held the pen, rewriting futures like they'd start again. You were supposed to be with me. It was a deal that was implied, you see, even though words never anchor tight. By omissions, hand you straight up like high. The echoes of promises you didn't say haunt me like shadows at the break of day. Your silence screamed it, deaf in my ear. Now truth's reflection is all I fear. You were supposed to be with me. It was a deal that was implied, you see, even though words never anchor tight. By omissions, hand you straight up like
First meeting hers continued. She looked at him standing in the doorway with the professors. She didn't want to stare, but she watched as he walked into the room. She watched him as he walked past each row. She was angry at each woman he walked toward, wondering who he would sit with. She watched each row until there were none left, and he settled behind her. She immediately felt a sort of nervous fear. Neither of them spoke, and she felt a certain anxiety. The class began, and the professor explained the assignment that people pair up, talk to their partner, and then introduce their partner to the class. She turned and looked at him, mustering up her courage. Do you want me to come back there, or do you want to come up here? I'll come up there, he said. She worked hard to not show her nervousness. She felt a certain grace in him as he changed seats and sat next to her. She thought he had to be the handsomest man she'd ever seen, and his voice was deep and soft. They exchanged information, the information the professors had asked them. She that noted that he was younger than her and thought, wow, what a pity. Oh well, I hate to see a good brother go to waste, so I know we're single and I'm going to announce your singleness, she told him. He just looked at her and she thought he was patient and something about her Something about him reminded her of something situated and strong like a tree. The professor interrupted, stating that it was time to introduce each other. She introduced him and put special emphasis on his being single. When the class was instructed to come to the front, she followed him. After her relaxed and even bold talk to him, she followed his lead almost as though she was hiding. She immediately stopped talking when the conversation involved the entire class. She shone her emotional spotlight on him. He liked it. He felt like a protector. She felt protected. Her childhood. It was breakfast and the family, that is, her mother and five siblings and a sister-in-law gathered around the table. It was a large dining room. It was a large dining room table in the dining room of a mid-sized Inglewood two-flat. They assembled. The mom said the prayer and then began the conversation. You know what she did yesterday? She said, addressing all at the table. The people next door keep throwing their garbage over the fence. I heard her out there screaming, stop throwing your garbage over here. Then she picked up some of it and threw it back over there. Didn't you? She nodded affirmatively. She nodded affirmatively. She can be so low class sometimes, her mother continued. Everyone looked at her. She hated being the center of attention because it almost never seemed to happen because of anything positive she had done. She remembered how her father had publicly told the police she wasn't his child. She remembered wondering whose child she was. All eyes were on her and no one came to her rescue. She knew that the spotlight had never been good for her. She learned to never seek the spotlight. So she clung to backs of rooms, darker areas, and silence. She had followed him to the front of the classroom on their first meeting, happy to not have to face the group alone. Setting, he with a friend. I don't know, man. I thought she liked me. Then she kinda tried to pimp me to the groove. I don't know what to think of that. I saw the two of you back there smiling and laughing. I think she likes you a lot. I just think she's a little weird. Well, don't talk about my girl, he said, half smiling. No, she fine as, but she keeps to herself a lot, and when she does talk, she says some insightful things and some kind of weird things. Well, he shrugged, different people do different things. I think her soon-to-be ex was a very lucky man. 5 visits, part 4, the second visit. She heard a knock and opened the door. He stood there and they looked at each other. Hi, he said. Great show. I'm surprised to see you again. I think that maybe we have things to discuss. She hesitated and he queried, are you going to invite me in? I don't really know what you want from me. If you just want to fuss at me, you could just text me or something. I don't have your telephone number, he said, and smiled. So you really do just want to fuss at me. I really do think we have things to discuss, and I would like your telephone number. He said, I really think you should discuss whatever this is with your wife. He bent over a little toward her and crossed one leg behind the other. No, I think I should discuss it with you. She looked at his posture, his pose. He said this humbly, and she always wondered how someone who looked like him could be humble. Yet she also had always admired his quiet dominance. Or was it persistence? To her he was masculinity. You must have had the world handed to you, she thought. So are you going to let me in? He asked. She moved to the side. He walked over to the chair and sat down. A few hours earlier, he watched her as she lay. Her beige skin formed a beautiful complementary contrast with the white bed sheets. She rolled over and saw him standing before the mirror. She blinked a few times and focused on him. Hey, where are you going? He walked over to her, bent over and kissed her on the forehead. She grabbed his collar and pulled him to her. Wouldn't you rather stay with me? She purred to him between kisses. Of course, he stated as he backed away. I'll be back in time for breakfast. Where are you going in the middle of the night? She sat up and queried, anger flashing in her eyes as she sat up. I'll be back, he said. We're supposed to be trying to work things out. Well, maybe I won't be here when you get back. Look, he started. You divorced me 3 years ago. You decided that I wasn't there for you. When you came back, I said I think we should take things as they come, and I still think it. Are you searching for your lost love? She asked. I'm here. I'm solid. I exist. Maybe I really won't be here when you return. He looked at her and thought about how beautiful she was and how much she wasn't like her. A pregnant pause, they called it. When he spoke, it was with a quiet intensity. I think that is really up to you. If you do leave, make sure to lock everything up, he stated and walked out the door.
Why does love hurt from you? Where only happiness should shine through. A storm where light once used to be. Your embrace now feels like a cold sea. Each whisper feels like a broken chain, bound by words that only bring pain. Your promises fade like a fleeting tune, left me dancing alone with the moon. Joy's supposed to filter through, a symphony turned into a sigh. I ask the stars, but they won't reply. Your laughter once painted skies so blue. Now it's a ghost haunting the view. Every touch echoes a gentle lie, yet I still wait, blinded by the why. The cello hums our story so low, a melody of love that couldn't grow. Each note pulls tighter at my chest. Why won't this heart just find its rest? Oh, why does love hurt from you? Where joy's supposed to filter through, a symphony turned into a sigh. I ask the stars, but they won't reply.
Hi, this is Five Visits, Part 5, third visit. Back to the dressing room. He approached her chair and pulled it out for her. She sat and watched him as he sat in his seat. So you love me, huh? He queried and smiled mischievously. She looked at him silently for a brief moment and then smiled. Let's say I do. What difference would it make? He ignored the question, focusing instead on the idea that she loved him decidedly. Have you eaten? Would you like to go out somewhere? He asked. I'm not really hungry, and I don't really think anything is open now, but she continued as she looked toward a small refrigerator. I can offer you wine and crackers. He laughed and said he would like a glass of wine. She pushed away from the table and walked to a file cabinet and pulled out a plastic-covered glass and a bottle of wine. She rinsed the glass and poured the wine into it. She didn't pour herself a glass because she reasoned that if she drank, she would sleep with him. Because she had wanted to sleep with him from the first time she had met him. She wondered, was this only lust? Then why is it only focused on him, and why is it lasting? She wondered. She remembered her ex's indiscretions and determined she would not contribute knowingly to someone else's pain, that is, his wife's. He liked the way she walked. He hadn't forgotten the small waist and the sway of her hips. She was wearing a flowery silk robe tied at her waist. He wanted to hold her close to him. He remembered how, whenever he saw her, he felt a desire to touch her. Remembered how he had tried to hold her years ago, and she had slipped away. He remembered with some annoyance how she had struggled to get away. She smiled as she handed the glass to him. He covered her hand with his and asked, "Would you dance with me?" She wanted to say no, but there was something that made her want to be close to him even in this peculiar situation. She thought to herself that she had been right to not drink the wine. She placed the glass on the table. He stood up. "There's no music," she said. He pulled her to him. "You are music. Sing one of your songs for me." She hummed a song of love and the passage of time.
I saw you standing in the pouring rain. The way you smiled took away my pain. I wanted you then, but I stayed so shy. Now I
Five Visits, Part 6. And so they danced. There was no time while they danced. They were not in her dressing room, they were everywhere. They existed in a no place, every place, where all that existed was dancing with them. Do you want to make love? He asked. To you? Yeah, definitely, she thought. But she said, I've always wanted to make love to you, but I don't always do what I want to do, she whispered. He stopped dancing. What does that mean? He thought to himself that she was definitely not a liar, but he also wondered, is that a good thing? I think my words are pretty clear, she said. You're always pushing me away, he countered. We don't know each other all that well. I couldn't always do anything to you. Does she feel anything at all, he wondered? What do you want from me? He said. You sing songs about me, but I'm here and you tell me to go away. Do you even remember me? Of course I remember you. How could I forget you? I think we have already covered that. I didn't tell you to go away. I just said I'm not going to sleep with you. You may have forgotten you're married, but I didn't. So you want to just stay locked up in this room all your life? You don't know anything at all about what I've done or what I'm going to do with my life. You did this to me. You keep blaming me, but ultimately you pushed me away. You crumpled me up like a old sheet of paper and threw me away. I just accepted it. I have made a living out of wishing you had chose me, but I have faced that you didn't. You chose someone else. You chose her over me. She thought, I think you need to go home to your wife, she said. He walked to the door, opened it, and left the room. And he didn't even bring me flowers. Good grief. But I still want a good grief. What will it take to make this feeling go away? She thought to herself. As he walked down the hall, he thought to himself, forget her. I don't have to put up with this. There are lots of women who want to be with me. But I have wanted her from the first, and I want her still.
I see the moonlight trace your skin tonight. The air's so heavy yet it feels so right. Every beat's a promise that I'll make to you. Tell me where to stand and what I need to do. Tell me what I needed to do to hold you. Underneath the skies painted deep in blue. Show me the way, I'll follow every clue. Hold you close till the sunrise breaks through. Dances like a flute in my ear, a melody that I can't help but revere. Your touch lingers soft like the violin's bow. Teach me how to keep you and never let go. Tell me what I need to do to hold you. Underneath the skies painted deep in blue. Show me the way, I'll follow every clue. Hold you close till the sunrise breaks through. The piano speaks where my words might fail. Every step I take follows your hidden trail. Your heart beats the rhythm my feet move to. Tell me how to make this love come true. Tell me what I need to do to hold you. Underneath the skies painted deep in blue. Show me the way, I'll follow every clue. Hold you close till the sunrise breaks through.
5 Visits, Part 7, the 4th visit. He knocked on the door. She answered it, and he presented her with a bouquet of roses. I think that if we sit down and talk, we can figure some things out. He sat again at the small table. She walked to the file cabinet and pulled out an empty wine bottle. She rinsed it, filled it with water, and walked back to her chair, placing the roses on the small table. "Thank you," she said. "It means a lot." She wondered what things he wanted to figure out. To her, it was all fairly simple. "You're married." Sadly, case closed. But she had not forgotten him. He was still the man she remembered beyond any other she had encountered. But he had chosen another woman over her. It wasn't totally about ego, but that was a part of it.
You were supposed to ride my wave high, catching stars in the velvet night sky. It was whispered in the looks you gave, but now I'm stranded on dreams I can't save. You were supposed to be with me. It was a deal that was implied, you see, even though words never anchor tight. By omissions, hand you straight up life high. We had a rhythm, a silent song. How did it turn to where it went so wrong? Unscripted, yet you held the pen, rewriting futures like they'd start again. You were supposed to be with me. It was a deal that was implied, you see, even though words never anchor tight. By omissions, hand you straight up life high. The echoes of promises you didn't say haunt me like shadows at the break of day. Your silence screamed it, deaf in my ear. Now truth's reflection is all I fear. You were supposed to be with me. It was a deal that was implied, you see, even though words never anchor tight. By omissions, hand you straight up life. You
"I think I'm a cheap date for you," she stated. "What?" "I'm trying to figure out why you're here. Are you like the enemy of peace or something?" "No, I don't think so. I'm just trying to figure out why you're here." He couldn't answer immediately because he wasn't sure why he was there. He knew that if she offered sex, he wouldn't turn it down. He knew that he didn't want to take advantage of her in any way. He felt friendly toward her, but he had a lot of friends. "Why am I here?" he questioned. He thought to himself. 3 weeks ago, he had seen her picture advertising this show and that she would be a part of it. He knew he had to go. He had gone 5 nights in a row to watch her before he had shown up at her dressing room door. He knew he wanted to know the why of their relationship, but he wondered, would that be enough? Am I bothering you? He asked. I'm not sure if you could, she thought. No, I like having you near me, she said shyly, and then stopped herself before she said more. He told her about their classmates and their activities. They watched an old movie and played video games. They smiled and joked, and in the morning they looked out the window dreading the daylight. He stood up and she did also. They wanted to embrace, each one feeling a kind of magnetism, a draw toward each other, but each assessing that maybe this wasn't the right time or place. He kissed her on the forehead and walked out the door. I'm pretty sure we're not dating. Maybe we're just friending, she thought. She took a shower and went to sleep. 5 Visits, Part 8. The fifth visit. He had decided this was goodbye. He had a home. He actually even had a woman in the home. He had visited, he had investigated. He wanted to try one last time to reach her, to touch her. He nodded to the security guard, walked to the door, and knocked. She wondered the meaning of their encounters. Each time he left her, she reasoned she might not see him again. There was no language that described their encounters, and as such there was no knowing the beginning, the middle, or the end. It was as though each felt that giving a label to these encounters made the encounters prisoners of time, and they both felt unconsciously that they had to find a way to exist without, outside, time. Time had to be an unknown or undefined element that existed and yet was circular, having no ending. She heard the knock and fought against being excited that he'd come once more. She liked his presence. She wanted him to know that he was welcome in her small dark dressing room. She adjusted her robe and answered the door. He smelled her perfume. He had visions of her. Better yet, he had feelings of her. He imagined her touch. He wanted not just to physically hold her, but to hold her still, as though she was constantly moving, and he wanted to slow her down and stop her so she could enjoy all the sensations, all the joys of just being. And she wanted him to just, and he wanted her to just be with him. He always seemed like a tree to her, like wherever he stood he was rooted in the ground. She imagined what it would be like to be connected to him, like she was a kite tied to him so she couldn't float away. She felt that she had always been like that kite, and she wanted so much to belong. I wish, she thought. He walked past her and sat in the seat. She watched him and wondered if this was the last time, but she had every time he visited wondered if it was the last time. How have you been today? He asked, and appraised her as she said, I've been fine. How about you? He ignored her question. When I first came here, I asked you a question you have never answered, he stated. What question? What happened? Why did you leave? I didn't leave. You did. I didn't. You did. For heaven's sake, tell the truth. Why did you act like nothing was happening with us and just leave? I was your friend. We were more than friends, he stated. You wouldn't let me near you. You were the one who disappeared. I didn't, she stated. You did. For heaven's sake, tell the truth. Why did you act like nothing was happening with us and just leave? Why? Why? You rejected me. I did not reject you. You threw me away like I was a crumpled up piece of old paper. Don't you remember that? Overall, she liked his abruptness. To her, it saved time. She didn't like wasting time, but she reasoned, this is my dressing room, and you nor anyone else gets to take their frustrations out on me in here, especially after what you did to me. So you want to know what happened, she stated. You want to know why I wasn't at that graduation? You want to know why I wasn't there to see you and your then fiance bask in the glory of your accomplishment and your perceived beauteous celebration? I had called you. After you told me you didn't want me and that I was a temptation, I tried to call you. I wanted to ask you for clarification. My captor, my anticipated soon-to-be ex-husband, found me trying to call you and hit me so hard I fell on my baby and she's not here anymore. She motioned toward the picture of the child on her desk. I was unconscious for 3 months. My daughter was gone. That idiot I married drove away when he found out our 8-year-old daughter called 911 and he got into a car accident and he died. That was our divorce. I was not able to attend to see you with the woman you deemed as being the one worthy of your love. Not me. It was never me. Whatever I brought to the table, you deemed it was not enough. You reserved your lust for me. That's what you deemed me worthy of, and you're still doing it. I was always just a little potential nibble to you, an exotic dessert, a little drizzle of something sweet. You didn't care that children were relying on me. You didn't give a shit that when you hurt a woman, you hurt generations. You tear down communities. Nations are destroyed before they have taken their first breath. You didn't care, and neither did that asshole I married. I'm in this room because of you, both of you. So now if you want to tell me you're leaving for the last time, all I can say is thank you. You broke my heart, and it matters. I matter. I wish you had never come in the first place. It would have been better if all your goodbyes had come before your hellos. Did you ever really care about me, or was it just my pain bruised your pride? He stood stunned. What? He mumbled. He looked over at the picture again and then at her. He was having difficulty digesting this. What? He repeated again. I didn't know. Of course you didn't, she interrupted while standing. You would have actually had to care about me to know. So this is where the story ends finally. Just like you finally see me, I finally see you. Go home to your wife. I looked for you at that graduation, he began. I came alone. I got engaged after I couldn't find you. He adjusted his coat and walked to the door. She followed closely behind him. He turned and attempted to embrace her. She pushed past him, and it was the same as the embrace years earlier. Years ago, in the school hallway, she had called him and asked if he could meet her before class. He had consented. She had noticed that the enthusiasm and wonder he usually exhibited was missing. She had made a decision, and she was proud of that. She was going to come out of hiding and explain to him that she wanted to be with him, but this divorce was not easy. Her husband was fighting her in any way he could. She was fighting a custody battle. She was fighting for property. She was just fighting. The court seemed to be requiring that she be able to both stay home with the children and still earn enough money to support them. She was having celibacy forced upon her. She was afraid of entering into any kind of relationship because her husband might attack them and cause them to have to show up in court and maybe they would hate her. She wanted to explain that she wasn't playing hard to get, but she had to think about her children and even had to think about him and how her husband could be dangerous. But she was proud that she had made a decision. She would trust him with what was her life. If She didn't see herself the way those people, the students, the professors, and even he saw her. To her, she was a used up former housewife. Her skin was brown, her hair was mostly done by her because funds were limited. She was not as slim as she had been when she was younger. Now she was curved and voluptuous. She didn't know that they saw a mysterious, self focused, quiet woman with a bounteous body and large, gentle eyes. She wondered why the men were following her when she walked through the halls and the campus grounds and focused on the one guy that mattered to her, and that was him. He had asked her once what she wanted from him. She had deferred the question and asked, I don't know. What do you have? She was willing to be a friend or a lover because to her, they both were similar, except that a lover you slept with and a friend you didn't. She could let him choose. She only knew that she wanted him. When she saw him, she smiled and handed him a note. This time she did notice. Uh-oh, she thought to herself, he's not smiling. This may not go well. He had reserved a seat for them in the hallway next to the classroom they would be entering in 15 minutes. He led her to the seat, and she sat in a chair across from him. She did not like public declarations of a relationship that had not privately been defined. He felt rejected once more, and he felt this made what he was about to say that much easier. "I'm with someone else," he began. "I'm really tempted by you, and I'm sorry if I led you on." She knew he was still talking, but she was attempting to comprehend what he had already said. What, she thought, but said nothing. This can't be happening. You're telling me that you have someone else. I can understand that. You're an attractive guy. Okay, I understand, but you're tempted? Who tempted you? I didn't do anything to tempt you. I didn't do a lap dance on your desk or anything like that. I don't even dress provocatively. If you remember, I was minding my own business. It was you coming after me. So what are you talking about?" She thought. Others passing by were watching them with interest. She stood up. She stood up, and so did he. She wasn't vain. She understood that. She even presumed that she was not the center of his life. But she did not consider that he wouldn't even offer friendship. But he wasn't the center of her world either, and she had thought, okay, "I'm sure your girlfriend is a very fortunate woman," she said. Well, see ya." And she prepared to walk past him into the classroom. He blocked her exit and caught her in a strong embrace. She wasn't a small woman, but she found that though she pushed against him, she couldn't escape him in the eyes. "Everyone is looking at us," she thought. And he felt so warm, so comforting. And he was saying something, but she was trying to understand the words he had already said. "You, you've been so nice. I want to give you a hug," he said. "What? I don't want a hug. Get off of me," she thought. "No, no," she said. "That's fine." To which he paid no heed. By the time she completed the statement, she was already in his arms. "Why are you torturing me?" she thought. Actually, she wanted to slap him. What did I do that was nice? I haven't been nice or not nice. What is he talking about and what is he doing? She wanted to commit an act of violence. She remembered a story she had read where Diane Carroll smacked Marlon Brando because he tried to feel on her behind while they were dancing. But she knew violence wasn't the answer, especially since obviously she was not a good judge of his reactions. It wasn't the rejection that hurt. It was that he delivered it with the hug she had wanted from him since the first day she had met him. She wondered if he also visited people in the desert and sprinkled water on them and then laughed and walked away. Does he just go around torturing people, she thought? She didn't relax in his arms. If this is goodbye, then why are you doing this? And why are you doing this here and now in front of all these people, she thought. She pushed against him. She attempted to put as much space between them as possible. She tried to turn his bear hug into a church hug while everyone watched and commented on the spectacle she felt they were making of themselves. Once they reached the classroom threshold, she attempted to snatch the note she had given from him from his hand, but seeing the attempt, he promptly placed it in his pocket and smiled. She forced herself to smile also. They sat at opposite ends of the classroom, she in the front, he in the rear to the right. He had expected more. He had expected her to say more. He had expected a dramatic scene where she cried and accused him of leading her on and flirting outrageously, but all he'd gotten was a faint, confused smile. He wanted her to be more upset. She had turned him down. She had not responded to his former flirtations. He had expected she would respond more emotionally now. He wanted her to feel the pain he felt when she rejected him. He then wanted her to reach out to him to ease that very pain. She felt confused and hurt, but she still had to complete this degree. She had to support her children. She had to protect her children. She still had to face a hostile soon-to-be ex and a hostile court system. She thought to herself, okay, this is enough for today. I'll deal with this tomorrow. Tomorrow will do.
I never give up on anything I crave. Your love's a storm, but I'm built to brave. You say we're done, but I star that feels so right. I'll hold my breath till you end the fight, and bring my dark to the day so bright. I want you bad and I'll see it through, even though you say we're through. I can't wait for a sky that's blue. I guess tomorrow will do. Whatever it takes, I'll hold my line. Love's a needle I'll thread with time. Your heart's a treasure I'll claim as mine. I'll wait forever till you resign. I want you bad and I'll see it through, even though you say we're through. I can't wait for a sky that's blue. I guess tomorrow will do. Every closed door's just a test for the strong. The nights are cold, but my heart beats long. Your voice still echoes like a haunting song, but I chase the note till you come along.
Five Visits, Part 9. Back to the dressing room, present time. Again she found herself confused in his arms, just as she had been years earlier. "I'm sorry," he said. I didn't know. I thought you didn't want me. I thought you just left me. You blocked every effort I made. You wouldn't go out with me half the time. You wouldn't even acknowledge me," he said. She felt his body against hers, and it seemed like rest, like finally. And he kissed her and kissed her with strength, and she whispered, "No, I can't." "Yes, you can," he whispered. "You can." "No, it isn't right." "Yes, it is. We want each other. We love each other. I loved you. I always loved you. You're always present, even when you aren't." "I know, baby. I'm here now. I'm here with you. I was worried about you. I didn't know what to think. It was you. It was always you. I've always, always loved you. I never forgot you. I never forgot you." She was quiet for a moment, and then when she spoke, it was sudden. "But you're married now, and you married pretty soon after graduation," she accused. Even though she was still in his arms, it was as though a wall had come between them. "Why are you torturing me? You made your choice, and I've had to live with it." "I'm not married. We divorced 3 years ago," he stated. "She told me there was a ghost in our bed, and that was you. You were the ghost in our bed," he explained quickly. "I am not a ghost. Feel this. I'm real." She placed his hand on her face. "I hurt. You can hurt me. You can't hurt a ghost." "I don't believe you. You did lead me on," she said, referring the words he'd said so many years ago. "You hurt me too." Somehow it had never occurred to her that a man could hurt. It seemed to her as though he had floated out of the door. There didn't seem to be gravity. There were no sounds of shoes pounding the floor or even the door opening and closing. It was as though he was vapor and he was gone. She looked down at the floor. A sheet of paper. She picked it up. It was just an old piece of typing paper with his name on it that had been folded 4 ways. She picked it up and unfolded it. Dear, I know I've been distant, but I want you to know it isn't because I don't care. I have noticed you. I feel something very strong for you. And maybe I don't know how to show it, or maybe the timing hasn't been right, but I just want you to know that I see you and I care for you very, very deeply. She recognized the handwriting and the signature. It was hers. It was the note she had given him years before. She opened the door and saw him walking slowly down the hall. She called and ran to him. You kept this all this time? She asked, showing him the note. Why? I don't know why I kept it. Maybe because it was written by the woman I love, the one I've loved for a very, very long time. I'm sorry. I didn't know. She took his hand and they walked back to her dressing room. They had much to discuss.
Tell me what it takes to make you stay in the light of the moon where we sway. Your silence is loud, it cuts me deep. Every word unspoken haunts my sleep. What do I need to do to hold you? Wrap you in love like the sky's whole blue. If I stumble, if I crawl for you, tell me, darling, what gets me through? Butterflies whisper in the night breeze, echo your name carried through the trees. Do I speak or leave the air unbroken? Show me the map to where hearts are spoken. What do I need to do to hold you? Wrap you in love like the sky's whole blue. If I stumble, if I crawl for you, tell me, darling, what gets me through? Do I dance beneath the stars till dawn? Write my soul in the lines of a song. Fly for miles or just stand in place. Show me the key to your heart's embrace. I've got no pride when it comes to you. I'm a fool if that's the truth we knew. Your shadow's warmth is enough to burn. I'll wait forever for your return. What do I need to do to hold you? Wrap you in love like the sky's whole blue. If I stumble, if I crawl for you, tell me, darling, what gets me through? Do I dance beneath the stars till dawn? Write my soul in the lines of a song. Fly for miles or just stand in place. Show me the key to your heart's embrace. Tell me what it takes to make you stay in the light of the moon where we sway. Your silence. He asked me in the glowing night, asked me if my heart took flight. I laughed and said, it's always been a melody that plays within. He reached for truths he couldn't see, searching for the depth in me. I whispered soft like autumn winds, I've loved you since the world begins. Long ago, all the time since the start, you've been the echo inside my heart. No need to ask, it just beats true. From the first on, it beats for you. Through deserts dry and rivers wide, our love's a wave in endless tide. He held my gaze and by his hand, together we can understand. The stars, they sing, they know it too. This love's beyond the worldly view. No boundaries hold, no time can break. An eternal flame will always make. Long ago,